Hi, beautiful souls. It's Serena, and I'm here today to share with you a story from the Mystic Faerie Tarot. This is from the Suit of Wands, and it is called The Grand Adventure. Once upon a time, on a warm summer evening, a fairy clan gathered to hear stories told by their elders. The stories were about faraway places and strange sights. After the elders went off to sleep, some of the young fae decided they wanted to travel and seek new things so they'd have their own stories to tell. The idea of going off and having adventures delighted them, and they danced with glee to celebrate their decision. To bring luck to their enterprise, they crafted a wand, representing their strength and resolve from an oak branch. They topped it with a red crystal that appeared to hold a fiery energy within its core, which, they said, showed their focus, determination, and passion. Finally, they wound 2 griffin feathers around the crystal to bring wisdom and fortune to their endeavor. After it was finished, they put it in the middle of a fairy ring that their dance had created. When they returned, they would sit in this very spot, surrounded by their clan, and tell grand stories of their adventures. And so it was. Years later, the fairies came to call this spot the place of beginnings. Whenever any fae wanted to start a new adventure, they'd sit in the place of beginnings and make their plans. One day, years later, and years after the place of beginnings was created, 2 young fairies decided they wanted to go to seek their fortune together. Sitting near the wand, they were inspired and formed a partnership, shaking hands and agreeing to stick together through thick and thin. They were very enthusiastic, filled with dreams and desires. They talked of possibilities, and although they weren't sure what they wanted, they were certain that they'd find nothing but good fortune and fabulous adventures. The 2 friends realize that although they don't know what they want to achieve, they do know that they cannot set off without a plan. They look through a book of maps created by other fae who went on adventures before them. The maps have descriptions of the things that could be found in each location. The 2 friends, having heard great tales of the wondrous phoenix, decide that they want to explore the land of the fire sprites to see this great creature for themselves. They dream that the phoenix grants them a feather filled with powerful magical properties. That would certainly make their fortune, and so they finally have a plan and a goal. The 2 adventurous friends are having a pretty easy time. The fae who have gone this way before left fairy ring markers along the route. While they've enjoyed the travel, they are ready for something exciting to happen. And as they approach the very edges of the fire sprites' dwellings, they meet a lovely young sprite. She is carrying an egg with golden speckles that she found. She likes the 2 energetic fairies and decides to give them the egg, hoping it will bring them luck. Even though they aren't sure what it contains, they are sure it's valuable, so they accept it and thank her. After the generous sprite goes along her way, the 2 friends stay to discuss this unexpected turn of events. They know that the sprite wished them well, but she didn't know what the egg contained. They debate about what to do with the egg. One thinks that it's a dragon egg and that they should leave it behind and move on. The other think that it is a phoenix egg and that they should stay and tend it until it hatches. This is their first disagreement, and it is making them both feel unsettled. In the end, they agree to stay and at least see what is in the egg. If it is a dragon, they agree to leave it. After a while, the egg does hatch. A small dragon emerges. The fairy, who hoped for a phoenix, is angry, both that he was wrong and that they don't have a phoenix. He is also a little frightened of the dragon. The other friend is happy that he was right. He is so consumed with his victory over guessing correctly that he decides that having a dragon is a good thing. He holds the dragon high as if he'd won a trophy, while his thwarted friend watches, his anger, disappointment, and fear growing. The two friends who agreed to stick together through good and bad are facing very bad times indeed. The dragon is growing at an incredibly fast rate, and although they originally agreed to leave the dragon behind, one friend cannot bring himself to do so. He thinks they can raise it and tame it, controlling it for their own purposes. The other friend doesn't think that a dragon can be tamed, that it will be nothing but trouble and should be released to live as dragons live and not be brought into the lives of their family and friends. They argue heatedly, and there is no sign of any middle ground. The partnership is threatened. Things happen very quickly after the fight. The friend who wants to leave the dragon threatens to destroy it because he thinks it is the only way to release its hold over his friend. The other friend doesn't want to leave the dragon and also doesn't want it destroyed. Feeling like he has no choice or any time to think about his decision, he climbs on the dragon's back and they fly away together. With this act, decided in a heated and rushed moment, he severs the friendship and chooses his future. The fairy is now alone with his dragon. The dragon has grown so huge that he doesn't know how he will control it. In the morning, he sees blood on the dragon's lips. He doesn't know where it has been or what it has done. Although he is on the outskirts of a village, it is a close enough journey for a dragon. Fae and sprite lives are at risk. When he started out on this journey, he never expected it to end like this. He realizes that it was the choices he made that brought him here. The fairy accepts his responsibility and considers what to do next. The fairy and his dragon live far from any other fair folk, but still a dragon can fly far very easily. The fairy spends his time keeping the dragon bound and caring for it as best he can. He believes that it is his burden to carry and that he must take care of the dragon while keeping it away from the villages. It is a heavy burden and doesn't make him or the dragon happy. It is a sad story, but one has to wonder, why doesn't the fairy let the dragon fly away to join the other dragons who live far away from fairies, pixies, sprites, and elves? You always have to face the consequences of your actions, but do not let consequences become your fate. It is never too late to make better choices.